Myanmar numbers, telling time. Telling time in the Myanmar language is very similar to telling time in English. We identify three basic components of telling time: the time of day, like morning or afternoon, the hour, and the minute. We'll start by looking at how to say time on the hour. For instance, in this case, 3 a.m. Now to us, that's 3 a.m. in the morning. But really in Myanmar, when it's dark outside, it's night. And so the time of day identified in this is nya, the word for night, nya. The next thing is we need to tell what hour it is, and so the number comes next. In this case, it's the number 3, thong. Lastly, we want to say the word for hour, and that's na yi. That's the word for hour, and that's how that is put together. So for the first few minutes, we're going to talk about just telling time on the hour. So let's move on to the next card. So let's first of all talk about general times of day. There are 4 that are identified here. The first is morning, manet. That's generally from 4 to 11 a.m. Nele. That's the afternoon from 12 to 3 p.m. Now, these aren't specific, they're not written in stone, but a general idea of time of day. Evening, nyane. So that's from 3 to 7 p.m. And then night, nya. Basically when it's dark outside. Again, it's not always necessary to use this designation, but if you do tell someone you're coming at 8 o'clock, you may need to specify that's in the morning, not in the evening. If you say 3, however, it's more than likely they'll understand that's 3 in the afternoon you're coming, not 3 in the morning. So let's move on. So we're going to look at this structure here for telling time on the hour. And all we have to do is put the number of the hour before the word for hour. So 6 o'clock would be chao na yi, chao na yi. The word for 7 o'clock, now when we learned our numbers, the word for 7 was kunit. But we don't say kuninayi, we say kuninayi. We've got it spelled out there in romanization. Well, now why did we do that? Well, we did that because of a method that's used in grammar in Myanmar, more than just in telling time, but in reading all together. It's called weakening vowels. So in this case, we're using the stopped tone vowel, it. And wherever we use the stopped tone vowel, it, if a word comes after it, such as the word for hour, na yi, we are going to change that it sound to an So dit would be changed to da. Nit would be changed to na. Kunhit would be changed to kuna. But there's an exception. The word for 8, shit, stays shit. And we'll see that as we go through our hours. So let's take a look at how we would say each hour of the day then. 8 o'clock, shin na yi. 9 o'clock, go na yi. 10 o'clock, to se na yi. Now, one little exception here is, you'll notice in the Romanized form, I just say se na yi. Se is the word for 10. When we're counting, often we use to say 110. However, in counting time, we're never going to have 20 or 30, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens. So they may just say, and you may just say na yi. The word for 11 is setana yi. Again, we use the weakened form of that vowel on the word 11 as well. Let's move on. The way to say 12 o'clock is senana yi. The word for 1 o'clock, tanayi. 2 o'clock, nanayi. 3 o'clock, thonayi. 4 o'clock, lenayi. 5 o'clock, nganayi. Okay, and that's your full hour method of saying time. Okay, now let's include some minutes in this time. Not everything happens right on the hour. So let's look at our phrase that we have here. This is how to say 3:45 a.m. So the first thing is time of day. It's still dark outside, so we're going to say nya. The number for hour is 3. Ton. The word for hour, nai. Next, we want to say it's 45 minutes. So to say that, we're going to say the number first, lezenga, for 45, and then we're going to say the word for minute, minute, very close to the English word. Notice in both cases, the number comes before the time designation, either before the hour or the word for minute. So that seems pretty simple. Let's move on. So as we tell time in minutes here, let's look at the way that we would say that in minutes. So 5 minutes after the hour is nga minute. 10 minutes after the hour, se minute. 15 after the hour, senga minute. 20 after the hour, minute na se. Oh, wait a minute. For some reason, 20 after the hour, the word minute comes before the number. Why is that? Well, let's look and see. So there's kind of an oddity that takes place in the Myanmar language, and it comes to telling time, and by the way, also counting money. Even numbers, when that happens, the way that you say time changes. Now, instead of the number coming before the word for minute, it comes after the word for minute. So to say 20 after, minute na se. For 30 minutes after, minute ton se. For 40 after, minute leze. For 50 after, minute ngaze. These are the only times during each hour the word for minute precedes the number value. Now you'll notice that we didn't include 10 minutes after. Now that's an even number. Why don't they include it? I don't know. For some reason, the number 10 is not counted as an even number, either in time or in the counting of money. So at 20, 30, 40, and 50 minutes after the hour, the word minute comes before the number itself. Now, what's the exception? Okay, here is the exception. At 30 minutes past the hour, we could say minute onze, and we would be understood. But that's usually not what people say. People usually say tonaikwe for 3:30. Now, this uses a mechanism very similar to what we use in English. We say it's half past. Well, that's basically what we're saying here. We're saying it's 3 o'clock plus a half an hour. And that's the word kwe. When you put it together, it softens to a G sound. Tonaikwe. So on the half hour, we use that word for half. And that pretty much finishes this lesson on telling time.